I can edit it too, so let's see, do I have my, okay. My battery died, didn't you know? Maybe one of you in between can email Barbara
I'm gonna do that now.
so she can send out a notice. Oh, you may want to put that away further. She's looking at that. Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in this morning. I'm, first of all, I want to apologize for us not being able to go live. We had some technical difficulties, but we will post this right after the end of this service, so you'll be able to see it later today. I'm happy that technology allows us to get together, but also technology has created a little glitch in our viewing today. It's our way of saying that we're not going to let it get us down. I want to thank Perry and Kim for risking life and limb to be here behind the scenes to help us with today's service. Any faults of the technology are mine, so I apologize. I also want to thank Dr. Reverend Mitsumi Wonder of the Orange County Buddhist Temple for taking time from her busy schedule to be with us today. And I want to thank her for her patience as we got things going today. I'd like to begin with an opening reading. If you please join me in Gassho. Amida made his vow out of compassion for us who are full of evil passions, who are unable to set ourselves free from samsara by any practice. Since the purpose of his vow is to have evil persons attain Buddhahood, the evil person who trusts the other power is especially the one who has the right cause for birth in the Pure Land. Hence the words, even a good person is born in the Pure Land, how much more so is an evil person. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to begin the sutra chanting with the Sambujo, Hyobyakumon, and the Shoshinge. Those of you who are following along at home, the Shoshinge is found on page 33. Namandavas, 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 Namandavas. Today, on the occasion of the Honko service commemorating the death of Shinran Shonin, the members of the Sangha have reverently come before Amida Buddha with deepest reverence and thankfulness for the all-embracing wisdom and compassion of Amida, we reaffirm the three homages. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo Kia Boots, Namo Kia Ho, Namo Kia Soul.
Genji Nangyo Roku Roku Shingyo 義名無下根如来永衆たら見真実公正の頂大聖願こういう本願力栄光異道群上小一心義入空独大崩壊一逆入大永修修徳子蓮華造世界即所信用法所人唯門の人間人図入所自恩自用へ恩師鈍乱両天使上皇乱消防殺来三蔵ルシ十条教文上宣教喜楽法天神菩薩論中下王道因果見世願方言猫ゆたり少女死因唯心人惑前本部新人法承知承知即涅槃一子無量光明の小修上回復家同社継承道南書唯名浄土活入万全自力変言集円満特語感染症三部三神慶四言増末放滅動因一生増悪地偶税死安女解消妙化先道の無名無所依公愛上三葉逆悪公明明語見人年大日本願大智慧行者少女今後心よぎ一年相互よい大東逆三年即所法所四上楽原始公愛一大行延期安女管理祭先祖終身反戦人法華二道小弁流極入悪人類小物大薬剤摂取中煩悩証言水不見大無見上昇が恩師言無名無行年々全幕本部人新宗教書後編集戦弱本願偶悪性現代小二輪年へ下地義上位小子即入弱女無為な一心人二の入無行内に終始と上際無変の無常無悪道蔵無二種無能心有意願
very much. I'd like to ask you now to all join me in the Gatha Shinnan Sama on page 240 of the large purple service book. Sorry, wrong number. Oh boy. Soyokaze wataru asa no mado hataraku te no hira awase tsutsu ano amida butsu toraerema shinran sama wa nikoyaka ni watashi no tonari ni airasharu kirameku yozora hoshi no kage arashi ni kiete mo akurate mo namo amida butsu toraerema shinran sama wa tomoshimi yo watashi no yuku te ni kazasareru kono yo no tabi no akekure ni sabishii inochi yo nageku toki namo amida butsu toraerema shinran sama yorisoke watashi no te o tori ayumareru. The threefold refuge. Hard is it to be born into human life, now we are living it. Difficult is it to hear the teachings of the Buddha, now we hear it. If we do not cross over to the truth in the present life, in what life shall we cross over? Let us with sincerity and true reverence take refuge in the three treasures of the truth. I take refuge in the Buddha. May we, together with all sentient beings, awaken to the great way of enlightenment and to the unsurpassed intent of Amida Buddha. I take refuge in the Dharma. May we, together with all sentient beings, enter the storehouse of the Dharma, becoming like the wisdom ocean. I take refuge in the Sangha. May we, together with all sentient beings, become units in true accord, in harmony with all things. The peerless, profound, and wondrous Dharma is rare to encounter, even in many hundreds and thousands of kalpas. Now we are privileged to hear and receive it. Let us thoroughly understand the true meaning of the Tathagata's teachings. Sankhya-mon, Ninja Nukegatashi, Ima Sudeni Yuku, Buppo Kikigatashi, Ima Sudeni Kiku, Kono Mikonjo ni Mukate Dose Zumba, Sarani Izure no Sho ni Mukataka, Kono Mi o Dosen, Daishu Morotomo ni Shishin ni Sambo ni Kieshi Tatematsuru Beshi. Mizukara Butsu ni Kieshi Tatematsuru, Masa ni nega waku wa shujo to tomo ni daido wo taige shite mujoi kosan mizukara ho ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masa ni nega waku wa shujo to tomo ni fukaku kyozo ni irite chie umi no gotoku naran mizukara so ni kieshi tatematsuru. Masa ni nega waku wa shujo to tomo ni Daishu wo tori shite issai mugen naran mujo jinjin mimyo no ho wa yakusen mango ni mo ao koto katashi orima kenmon shi juji suru koto etari nega waku wa mirai no shinjitsu gyogeshi tatematsuran. Namman dabus, namman dabus, namman dabus. Thank you very much, everyone. Now it's my pleasure to introduce to you today our guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Mitsumi Wondra. Reverend Wondra was born in Kyoto and attended the Kyoto Women's University, where she graduated, attended Kyoto Chuo Bukkyo Gakuin, the Central School of Buddhism, which is my alma mater. She graduated there in 2006, had her Tokudo that same year, and then her Kyoshi ordination in 2007. She received her master's degree in 2010 from the Institute of Buddhist Studies in Berkeley, and then her PhD in 2018 from Ryukoku University Graduate School in Shin Buddhist Studies. She also received her master's degree there in 2012. She is a certified Honganji Ha propagator in 2013 and Honganji Hokyo in 2014. She began her resident ministry at the Orange County Buddhist Temple in 2015 and is currently there as the resident minister. She also last year, began teaching at the Institute of Buddhist Studies and as an adjunct professor. Reverend Wondra is also very proficient in doing translations, and for our Ministers Association has done many translations of our guest speakers. So it's my honor and pleasure to introduce to you today our guest speaker, Reverend Dr. Mitsumi Wondra.
Hi, hello everyone. Well, I'm Mitsumi Wondra, Orange County Buddhist Church, and I want to say Reverend J. Hiseki, and then all the Sangha members of Monterey, Salinas, and Whitmanville. Thank you very much for inviting me today for the wonderful Ho'onko service. I'm very honored for this wonderful occasion to share the Dharma. I hope everyone is doing safe and well. My temple, OCBC and Vista temples also actually observe the Ho'onko today, but we previously recorded, so I'm able to join with your temple today, and that's very wonderful. Let me share the screen. Okay, just a moment, please. I hope you can see the screen and you can hear me well. Okay, so today is Ho'onko service. As you know, the Ho'onko literally means the Dharma gathering for the acknowledging the indebtedness, and is observed by many Shin Buddhists to honor our founder Shinran Shonin. It is one of the most important services in the Shin tradition. So Please join me, Gassho, and let me read this Shoshinge verse. This is my theme of my talk today. 本願名号症状号指針信行願に因上等学章大涅槃必死滅道願成就 Meaning the name embodying the prime vow is an act of true settlement, the vow of entrusting with a sincere mind in the cause of birth. We realize the equal of enlightenment and supreme nirvana through the fulfillment of the vow of attaining nirvana without fail. By Shinran Shonin from the hymn of True Shinjin in the Nembutsu, Shoshinge. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. We just chanted the Shoshinge beautifully. We also chanted this verse. 本願名号症状号指針信行願に因上等学章大涅槃必死滅道願成就 Its meaning is what the Shinran is telling us, what name of Namo Amida Butsu is embodying the primal vow. Primal vow is Amida Buddha's deep, long-held wish. Rely upon me. No problem, I will take care of you. Right? And trusting me. And the saying Namo Amida Butsu is a true act of true settlement. True settlement is sort of like spiritual relief. So saying Namo Amida Butsu. But to say the Namo Amida Butsu, first we need to hear Namo Amida Butsu first. So the vow, Amida Buddha's vow and trusting with sincere, pure mind is a cause of birth. Where? Where is the birth? My birth in the Pure Land, Amida Buddha's land. And we realize equal. We receive the same Namo Amida Butsu to me, to you, and lead us to a full supreme nirvana. That's what it is. And then also, that's without fail. Once you hear Namo Amida Butsu, receive the Amida Buddha's message, Namo Amida Butsu, to me and to you, and receive it. It reflects upon it. And Buddha will come out from your mouth, Namo Amida Butsu. So you will be settled. You are sure to be born in the Pure Land after the physical death. That's for sure. No fail at all. So don't worry about it. That's what Shinran Shonin shared us. I think it's a very, relieving and big relief, and which is unseen. We've got relieved by hearing this message, right? So I can go back to this message, this verse later on, but I want to show that a Ho-On-Ko service, actually we are doing January 17 today, and Shinran Shonin, this is actually Ho-On-Ko is a Shinran Shonin's memorial service. So Shinran Shonin passed away on January 16, 1263. That's a new calendar. But old calendar, it was in November 28, 1262. He was 90 years old. Long life he lived. This picture showing that our mother temple, Honganji Kyoto, Ho-On-Ko service, not this year, probably last year, I think, because this year is they have a lockdown. Unfortunately, in the middle of Hoonko, Kyoto City lockdown, and other Tokyo and big cities also lockdown. So very limited people participated in this year's Hoonko. But they held the service January 9th to 16th. 7 days they do a service. During the service, Hongo service at the Nishi Honganji. Probably some of the people might have gone there. We have a morning service, evening service, and we chant Ojo Rai-san and Shoshinge Gyofu style, and we listen to Gomon Shu-sama's message. And then also they explain the Shinran Shonin's life for 90 days by showing this Shinran Shonin Denne. Denne means a pictorial art. It's sort of like a scroll. So hope you can see there's the first scroll, 1 and 2, and third scroll, and fourth scroll. The way we read is from the bottom of the first scroll. So this is the time Shinran Shonin was born, right? 1173 in Kyoto. And then he went to Mount Hiei at the age of 9, and he spent about 20 years in Mount Hiei doing monastic practice. See, this kind of, when you get very close, you can see all pictures, and then you understand each story. During the 20 years Shinran Shonin spent at Mount Hiei, that was really a tough practice, I think, monastic practice. Mount Hiei, as you may know, it's located on top of the mountain in Kyoto. Getting away from family, getting away from city. Shinran was only 9 years old and spent 20 years. Day and night, he did a practice to try to get enlightened in this world. Someday he did a 90 constant Nembutsu practice. You know what kind of practice is this? For 90 days, he just walked around a circumambulating Amida Buddha's statue for 90 days. Yeah? No sleep. He couldn't sleep. He cannot really lie down and sleep. And keeps walking, and saying Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Except having meal, having go to the bathroom, and take a shower. As a tough practice, 90 days. Cannot go to sleep. Well, me, maybe I can stay up only maybe one night, but second night, no way. I need a sleep, definitely. But he couldn't sleep 90 days. Another practice he did, 1,000-day practice. Not only 90s, now he did 1,000 days. Took him 7 years. Can you believe? So every night he has to walk around on Mount Hiei and visiting temples, and all night, and 1,000 days. It's really, really tough practice. But the Shinran realized the more practice he did, he worked on. He thought, the more I feel like getting away from the enlightenment. You know what I mean? That means he can really see himself. I don't think I have anything within me to get enlightened or to become a Buddha. in the future, right? So he had a challenge. What am I supposed to do? I don't think that Mount Hiei's practice will work for me. So he decided to come down from Mount Hiei at the age of 29, I think. And then he finally met Honen Shonin in Kyoto, right? So he confessed. Shinran confessed about his problem. You know, Teacher Honen, I practice very, very hard, day and night, but I don't know how I can get enlightened. Is there any way which can help me? And I heard you are teaching the Amida Buddha's wonderful primal vow and Namo Amida Butsu teaching. I want to hear about it. So Honen said, nodded. I know, Shinran. Don't worry about it. That's the same way I felt on Mount Hiei. You are not the only one. When Shinran heard Honen saying that, what a relief! I'm not the only one then. This great master Honen also felt the same way. And Honen shared the Nembutsu teaching, Namo Amida Butsu, to Shinran Shonin, which is very easy to do, right? Just say Namo Amida Butsu. Just call Amida Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu. And it is equally reaching to everyone. There is no one exception. And then the saying Namo Amida Butsu is superior than any other practice. Any other practice. So Shinran was super happy. Wow, I don't have to do that monastic practice anymore. I just hear Namo Amida Butsu and receive Amida Buddha's promise to me. Don't worry, just believe in my primal vow. I want to take care of everyone. Just hear my name, Namo Amida Butsu, and receive it with your sincere mind and respond to me by saying Namo Amida Butsu. That's what Shinran learned from Honen Shonin. Yeah. And after that, the Nembutsu practice was very popular in Kyoto city. And evidently, the monks in Mount Hiei was not happy at all because they are very seriously practicing day and night. They are saying, just hear and saying Namo Amida Butsu is good enough to become a Buddha. It's not fair. So those monks on Mount Hiei and other temples were sort of pressured Honen Shonin and Shinran Shonin. And at that time, as Kyoto Imperial Court ordered them to leave Kyoto immediately, right? So Honen was exiled to Tosa, and Shinran has to leave Kyoto to Ichigo, current Niigata prefecture. That's very sad. And then Honen disciple got executed. It's really, really severe punishment. It never happened in the Japanese Buddhist history, but that happened. So, but Shinran never gave up to spreading the Namo Amida Butsu, Nembutsu teaching in Ichigo, in Niigata prefecture. He worked in the field, working and growing rice and vegetable with farmers. And then at night, he shared the Namo Amida Butsu and Amida Buddha's teaching to all the villagers, farmers, and fishermen and merchants and villagers, everybody. And after several years, he decided to go to Kanto area, Ibaraki. At that time, unfortunately, Honen Shonin passed away already. So for Shinran, didn't make sense to go back to Kyoto because teacher Honen already passed away. So Shinran decided to go to Kanto area and spreading that Nembutsu teaching in Kanto. And after several years, he finally decided go back to Kyoto. Yeah. Because he wants to finish the Kyogyo Shinsho and other writings. So in Kyoto, there was a lot of sort of libraries and sutra books available. So he decided to go back to Kyoto. That was the middle of his 60s. So at that time, Eshimi go back to her own country hometown, and Shinran went back to Kyoto. And to the end, he was 90 years old. Maybe the picture was around, maybe the fourth scroll here around, I think, And then Shinran finally got really, really sick and weak. And at the end of his last breath, and he constantly sang, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. And he passed away to looking the western direction. Western direction is Amida's Buddha land, Jodo. So he closed a 90 years life, and after that, his youngest daughter, Kakushinji, made his tomb and grave that became Otani Honbyo, and later on, Honganji Temple. And here is the last picture right here is the Shinran Shonin's grave site. He had a tough life, 90 years. 90 years. Yeah. But I think he had a wonderful, very, very wonderful life. And then one of the highlight time in his life, Shinran Shonin's life, I think that's the moment he met Honen Shonin and received a teaching, Namo Amida Butsu. Oh, what a nice thing to hear. The Buddha's promise, Namo Amida Butsu, coming to me. Yeah? He was super happy because name embodying the primal vow. Yeah? As I said, name is Amida Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu. This is embodying the Amida Buddha's deep, long-held wish toward a human being. I want to be happy. I wanted to have a wonderful life. Now, here, to do so, please, hear Namo Amida Butsu. That's and saying Namo Amida. That is the act of spiritual settlement, true settlement. And also, you will be becoming a Buddha in this life. And upon the physical death, you surely will become a Buddha and in the Pure Land. This is the Hongan Myogo Shoujogo Shishin Shingyo Ganni In Joto Gakusho Dainehan Hishi Metsudo Ganjoju. This is what it is. Okay? So as I said, Amida Buddha's deep wish is reaching to everybody there is no exception. Eh? You can think of a sort of Wi-Fi. Last night, my cousin living in Kyoto and I had a line, talk, and we can see each other. We took about 1 hour. In the middle, somehow it didn't work. And I said, what happened? And I noticed that something wrong with my Wi-Fi. These days, we totally depend on Wi-Fi environment, don't you think? You need to see an iPhone. You have to be on a computer at work and to work, right? And without Wi-Fi, it's very, very hard to do those things. We are depending too much technology these days. But to get Wi-Fi, well, you have to make a little effort. I have to open that setting. And what is the Wi-Fi name, right? It's numbers or something like that. And sometimes we have to put some password. What is the password? Right? And then connect it. Otherwise, we don't get Wi-Fi. Right? So sort of Amida Buddha's calling voice to me and to you, to everyone, and permeate everywhere in this universe. But I have to hear it. I have to be aware of it. That's finding Wi-Fi setting. We have to make a little bit of effort. And then we can get connected, the calling voice, Namo Amida Butsu, to me. Right? Even it comes everywhere. I'm the one, you are the one who has to be aware, Buddha is calling me, Namo Amida Butsu. Right? And hear it. And reflect on it. That means the name makes me think the way I live everyday life. Sometimes I remember the way I was yesterday and the way I am today, the way I ought to be tomorrow, right? And then we respond to the calling voice by reciting Buddha. Yes, Amida Buddha, I hear you. Thank you for calling me. I hear your voice. Thank you. Namo Amida Butsu. That's how we respond and recite Namo Amida Butsu. See, hearing the name of Namo Amida Butsu, here and now, is very important and will lead us to the path of becoming the Buddha. To becoming the Buddha. Everyday life, we are nurtured to becoming a Buddha by Onenbutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. That's Shinran Shoni really, really wanted to share with all of us. That's amazing. Even 850 years after now, we appreciate Shinran's teaching in Amida Buddha's primal vow in Onenbutsu, Namo Amida Butsu. So today, we gather and thank Shinran Shonin for sharing the Nembutsu teaching, all of us. So, to conclude my Dharma message, please join me, Gassho. The name embodying the primal vow is an act of true settlement. The vow of entrusting with a sincere mind is the cause of birth. We realize the equal of enlightenment in superior nirvana through the fulfillment of vow of attaining nirvana without fail. ナモアミダ仏、ナモアミダ仏、ナモンダ仏、ナモンダ仏、ナモンダ仏。ナモンダ仏、ナモンダ仏。Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's usually do Japanese.
So, now I will continue to speak Japanese, I guess.
Yes, please.
Okay, so let me thank you. Now I speak Japanese. 日本語でご法話をさせていただきます。皆様、オレンジ文部協会、から参りましたワンドラと申します。今日は本当にモントレー、そしてサリーナス、そしてワトソンビルのお寺の法恩校にお招きいただきましてありがとうございます。J春石先生、そして、ご門徒様の皆様に御礼申し上げます。ありがとうございます。昨年からですね、コロナが随分と感染者が多くなってね、去年のサンクスギビングやクリスマスの後からですね、たくさんの方々が感染されて、カリフォルニアの私が住む南カリフォルニアも今とても大変な状況になってるんですね。で、オレンジ郡よりもロサンゼルスの郡の方が今大変で、病院でもですねベッドがないようなことを聞いております。一日も早くですね収まって、ワクチンも今接種が始まっているということで、どうか皆さんがですねお元気で、やっぱり不便があってねお寺に来てお弔問できないということは本当にね残念なことですけれどもね、各お寺それぞれですねいろんな工夫をして YouTube をされたり Facebook やいろんなことでですね、お弔問の場を作っておりますので、どうかそのお弔問の場をですね、どうか心してお聞きくださればと思っております。いつかですね必ずお寺は再開してね、また皆さんにお会いできることがあろうかと思っておりますね。ということでですね、今日は法恩講でございますね。それでは皆様ご一緒にですね、これは御三代と言いまして、私の今日の日本語の法話のテーマでございます。それをご三代を頂戴いたしますので、合唱お願いいたします。皆の名号を唱えつつ、信心誠にうる人は、億年の心常にして仏頓報ずる思いありと。ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、ナマンダ仏、この御三代と言いますのは仏様をたたえる、ねお言葉なんですね。で、このお言葉は親鸞上人がお書きになった浄土和算というご和算がございますけれども、その中にある一つのご和算、ポエムですね。弥陀の名号って何のことでしょう。弥陀って誰って言うと阿弥陀様のことね。で、名号って言ったら何でしょうか。阿弥陀様のお名前である南無阿弥陀仏のことです。でその阿弥陀さんのお名前をお唱えしてっていうことね。唱えつつっていうことはお唱えして、でそして信心誠にうる人はっていうのはね、仏様のこの真心ね、 ね、私たち、主情と申しますか、人間生きとし生けるものを、ね、救いたいと思ってくださるその真心を素直にいただく人はっていうことです。で、億年の心、億年って言ったらいつも仏様を思う心だから、そういう人はいつも仏様のことを思って、そしてぶっとんは仏様のこういう私を思ってくださる思いですね。そのご恩に報ずる、ね、報いる思いがあるのですよということです。ですからいつも毎日南無阿弥陀仏のお念仏をお唱えして、仏様が私を愛しく思ってくださる真心をいただく人は、この阿弥陀様の尊いお慈悲をいつも心に思って、そしてこの仏様に報いるようにという思いがありますという、ご阿さんなんですね。でとても親鸞上人が大事にされたおばさんでございますね。このことを今日はちょっとお話ししようかなと思っておりますね。今日は、法音講でございまして、先ほどちょっと英語でも申し上げたんですけれども、ご正気法音講というふうにですね、これは京都のご本山西本願寺の写真です。でこの写真は今年のではないんですね。去年だったと思いますね。と言いますのは、もう今年は本当にちょうど1月13日14日 救いがこのお念仏の中にあるんだなって。そして良き人も悪い人も、お勉強してる人もしてない人も、字が読める人も読めない人も、そんなの関係ないんだ。みんなが救われていく道、これが阿弥陀様のお念仏、南無阿弥陀仏の道なんだなというふうにね、いただかれたんですよ。ね、だから越後に流罪になってもこの教えを村人たちに、ね、伝えられました。そしてまた関東に行かれてもこのお念仏の道をみんなに伝えられたわけです。このお念仏の道っていうのは私が生まれて、そして最後の日を迎えるまでに私は仏様からお育てをいただくんです。おぎゃーと生まれた時に南無阿弥陀仏は誰も知りません。そうでしょう。私も全然知らなかったですよ。でもお家の中で父や母がお仏壇の前で南無阿弥陀仏をお唱えしたり、お寺に行って、お弔問したり、いろんな先生に会ってこの阿弥陀様のすべてを救います。誰一人残すことなく救いたい。一人でも救うことができなかったら私は仏にはなりませんという阿弥陀様の強い強い、そして深い深いご慈悲のいわゆる願いですね。これがお念仏になったわけです。そうして私は、そして皆様方もこの世でお育てをいただかれ、そしてお念仏の道を歩まれているわけです。このお念仏の道というのが私が仏様になっていく道なんです。この世ではまだ私たちは仏にはなれません。っていうのはやっぱりいろいろと煩悩があるしね。だから仏様になる道をご弔問させてもらったり、そして南無阿弥陀仏をお聞きして、そしていただいて、そしてそれに応じてお唱えする毎日の中で、私は日に日に仏様になる道を歩ましてもらっているわけです。だから浄土真宗の教えは今ここに阿弥陀様から届いている、その大事なメッセージをいただくことが大事なんです。それをいただいたら私がこの世を去るとき何も心配はしない。だってもう仏になることはもう決まっているからです。ね、それが親鸞上人様が皆さんに伝えたかったお念仏の道、南無阿弥陀仏の呼び声は今ここにすべての人に届いています。ですから皆さん一緒に仏になる道を歩んでいきましょうというふうに言われているわけですね。最後にお念仏の教えに合うものは命を終えて初めて救いに預かるのではありません。嬉しい時も辛い時も阿弥陀様の願いはこの私に働きかけていますね。阿弥陀様はこの私のために南無阿弥陀仏と呼びかけてくださっています。静かに素直にその呼び声を聞きましょう。そして心にいただきましょう。自分の姿を見せてもらいながらも深い喜びが湧き上がってきます。そして思わず お念仏が出てください。でそれを法音称名と申します。ナモアミダ
ナマンダブスナマンダブス。
そういうことでございますね。今日は本当に親鸞上人様の法音講という素晴らしいご法演に頂戴いたしまして、モントレー、サリーナス、そしてワトソンビルの門信徒様にお話しできたことを本当に私、喜びと感じております。ありがとうございます。それでは最後にもう一度ですね、一番初めに申し上げた三段をお読みして、私の日本語の方は終わらせていただきます。弥陀の名号を唱えつつ、信心誠に売る人は、億年の心常にしてぶっとん報ずる思いありと、なんだぶす、なんだぶす、なんだぶす、なんだぶす。
Thank you so much, Wondra Sensei, for a wonderful presentation, Dharma talk, on the life of Shinran Shonin and the importance of Nembutsu for all of us today, and so many years later after Shinran had passed away. I'd like to now share with you the Menyo Shonin's Gokunisho. Shonin Nichiryu no Gokanke no Nomuki wa Shinji no motte honto surare soru Sono yue wa Moro no zogyo nage sutete Ishin ni midani kimyo suremo Fukashi no ganriki to shite Un no kata yori hojo wa jijo sashimeta mo そのくらいを四年後期入賞上始終とも釈し、その上の称名年部と、たらい我が往生定めたまいし、権法人の年部と、心べきなり、花かしこ、花かしこ。Shinran Shonin taught that the essence of Jodo Shinshu is Shinji. The reason is that by abandoning all other practices and completely entrusting ourselves in Amida Buddha, our spiritual rebirth is assured by Amida through the inconceivable power of the primal vow. This is known as entering the ranks of the truly assured at the very moment of Shinji. Thereafter, all utterances of the Nembutsu should be understood only as expressions of gratitude for Amida's assurance of our spiritual rebirth. With reverence, I remain. Nam Mandavas, Nam Mandavas, Nam Mandavas, Nam Mandavas. Thank you. I'd like to take a moment to make a few announcements before we close today. I want to remind everyone that next week, January 24th, we will have our live streaming service. We will be observing Salinas Buddhist Temple's January Shotsuki Hoyo. So please tune in to the Tri-Temple YouTube site at 10 o'clock on January 24th. I have a rather urgent message I want to share with everyone. My wife Jane, her good friend, has a nephew who is a member of the Orange County Buddhist Temple. His name is Paul Goodman, and he's the son of Greg and Bonnie Goodman. And currently he's battling a B-cell acute lymphoma blastic leukemia for the second time, and is urgently in need of bone marrow transplant. And some of you who may know Paul, if you're associated with the Orange County Buddhist Temple, he was very involved in many of the youth organizations. His love for community has led him to his current day where he volunteers as tech advisor for the Orange County Buddhist Temple and serves as counselor for the Los Angeles Buddhist Coordinating Council, their church camp. When he's not helping out at Orange County Buddhist Temple, he's a writer, director, and editor of his very own production company, which allows him to bring his stories to life. As Paul continues to fight to get back to doing things that he loves, please consider signing up to become a possible bone marrow donor. To volunteer as a possible bone marrow donor, please go to the website Be The Match, all one word, bethematch.org, and they will send you a kit where you can take a swab of your mouth and you can send it back in, and hopefully we can find a match for Paul. Now, the ideal match would be someone who is 50% Japanese, 50% Caucasian, and between the ages of 18 and 44 years old. Paul is unable to receive visitors' cards, but you can please help him this way through becoming a donor. For those of you who are in the South, there are some drive-through ways of getting your swab. Saturday, the 23rd, East San Gabriel Valley JCC. On the 24th, next week, Tanaka Farms. On the 30th, Nishihonganji Buddhist Temple. And on the 31st, at the Orange County Buddhist Temple. So we send our best out to Paul and his family, and we hope that we can somehow find a match for him. Reminder too that on February 14th at 10 o'clock a.m. we'll have our combined Nirvana Day service commemorating the day that Shakyamuni Buddha passed away. That day we'll also have a pet memorial service, so if you send in pictures of your pet that have passed away, please send them to me by February 10th, and we'll have them included in the service. And now, if you'll all look out at our hondo here, you can see that we do have our own virtual Sangha. Cutouts of many of our members who have joined the Sangha and made a donation to the Watsonville Buddhist Temple. Donations are $50 for adults, $35 for children and adults over 80. And also, we're accepting cutouts of your family members who may no longer be with us, but can join our virtual Sangha. So please send a picture to the temple, drop it off at the temple, and with that donation, and we will happily have you join our virtual Sangha. Thank you very much. Now I'd like to ask you to join me in the Gatha Ondok-san 2. The Nembutsu is non-practice and non-good for those who practice it. It is non-practice for us because it is not the practice which we do out of our own contrivance. It is non-good because it is not the good which we do out of our own contrivance. It is entirely due to the other power and is free from self-power. Thus, the Nembutsu is non-practice and non-good for those who practice it. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Thank you so very much, everyone, for tuning in today for our Tri-Temple Hongo service commemorating the memorial service for our founder, Shinran Shonin. I want to thank Perry and Kim Yoshida for their technological support and their moral support. And last but not least, I want to thank our guest speaker today, Dr. Reverend Mitsumi Wonder of the Orange County Buddhist Temple. Everyone, please stay safe, be well. Don't forget to wear your masks, and we'll see you next week. Thank you very much. Namo